We're back for the National Basketball Association. Today is Wednesday, March 12th, and we have got 11 games, I think, in the National Basketball Association. And obviously, like we do every single day, we're going to talk about every single one of these games and predict them here on the channel. Now, before we get into the predictions, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton yesterday, by the way. 4-point play to win the game. Oh my goodness, he's so back. The Pacers are going to the NBA Finals. Probably not, but I'm all over the Pacers this year, man. We love them. Anyways, make sure to go check out our college basketball best bets. That was posted earlier today on the channel as well. That is linked in the description down below. Go make sure to check that video out, along with our UFC Fight Night Vettori versus Dolidze 2 predictions. That is on Greedo Plays MMA. That's linked in the description down below. Go subscribe to this channel. Go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA. We have a new video out today as well on Greedo Plays MMA coming out at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Go check it out when it drops. All right, and it's not predictions. First time ever. Anyways, let's move on now to the first of our however many games today. We kick things off in Atlanta, Georgia with the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets. Atlanta's playing good basketball right now. They are. The Hawks starting to ramp things up. They've won 3 in a row. They're only 3 games under 500. Obviously, again, they're likely not to make that push into the top 6 just because the top 6 teams feel so locked in at this point. But Atlanta needs to put themselves in a great position to be the 7 seed. And at the very least, they are going to host back-to-back play-in games with a chance to make the NBA playoffs. So again, the Hawks are the Eastern Conference version of the Lakers. Now, the Lakers, let's pray, don't go into the play-in this year. I doubt they are, even though the Nets loss sucked. But the Hawks have been the play-in champs every single year. At least they're always here in the play-in. Obviously, they lost last year to the Chicago Bulls in the play-in, but the Hawks are just always going to be there, and they kind of feel like they're going to get that 7th spot at this point, and this is another very winnable game, an easily winnable game against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the Hornets are coming off back-to-back wins, which is crazy. Saturday, the win against Brooklyn. Monday, the win over the Miami Heat. Same exact score in both those games, 105 to 102, obviously, with the Hornets scoring 105 in both those games, and Miles Bridges, man, he's been phenomenal. 35 points in the win over the Miami Heat. The Hornets have started to finally win games since their tweet after beating the Lakers game. Obviously, this team is special. Good for Charlotte. They're winning games again, right? Fairly healthy going into this one. The Hawks at the same time, though, are fairly healthy as well, except obviously for Trae Young. But Trae has always been, questionable day-to-day game time decision every single night. On the ESPN official injury report, Karis LeVert is questionable as well, but the Trae Young injury, and I quote, says Young quads, has been Brad Rowland of the Locked On podcast for the Wednesday's game against the Hawks or the Hornets. So I don't know if he's questionable. I assume he's questionable. They just forgot to write questionable or probable. Regardless, I expect Trae to play. If that happens, the Hawks are going to win. Even if Trae doesn't play like he did the other night, I still expect Atlanta to win as well. Hell, the Philadelphia victory on Monday, Dyson Daniels led the charge in scoring with 25 points. Daniels, again, mostly a defensive player, should win the Defensive Player of the Year this year. Shout out to the Great Barrier Thief. He deserves it. Regardless, though, again, Daniels can fill in if they need to, but obviously Trae Young's the guy, at least scoring-wise and playmaking-wise, moving the rock and whatnot. I expect Trae to play, and I expect the Hawks to easily win this game and blow out the Charlotte Hornets. As don't look now, the Hawks have won 4 out of their last 5, with the only loss being the Milwaukee Bucks. They can win 5 of 6 with a victory here tonight against the Hornets, and then they get the Clippers at the tail end of a road trip on Friday. And then they get Nets and Hornets after that, man. I mean, the Hawks can really start stacking wins and solidify themselves as the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. We go on to our second game of the day, and we move to Boston, Massachusetts. The biggest game of the day. Obviously, you saw it in the thumbnail with SGA, Mr. Aura versus the Anomaly, Jason Tatum. He's trying to say he's Big Deuce. No. Your name's the Anomaly now, pal. I kind of want to make him the Green Gooner, but anyways. We're taking the Thunder. Yeah, I know, no Jalen Williams tonight. That does suck. Jalen Williams is out. Obviously, the Thunder coming off their loss in the second half of their back-to-back against the Denver Nuggets in Oklahoma. But the Celtics do have injuries and illnesses of their own right. Kristaps Porzingis is still dealing with that viral illness. I don't know if he's playing tonight or not. I don't think he's going to. Jaylen Brown probable. Jason Tatum questionable with the knee injury. Tatum's going to play. Don't worry about that. I don't think Porzingis is playing, though. Which we'll see. Again, even if Porzingis does play coming off of the illness, I don't expect him to have a huge role in this game, especially with the presence of Hartenstein and Holmgren down low. The Celtics are good. I'm not going to deny that. They barely escaped in their last game with a victory. Obviously, nobody played because they were too busy resting from their Game 7 on Saturday against the Los Angeles Lakers, but they barely escaped out of Boston with a victory against the Utah Jazz, winning it by 6 points. Sam Hauser had 33 in that game. Obviously, Boston's going to be way more locked in to play this one, but I think OKC gets them. I really think they do. Again, I firmly believe the Thunder are still the best team in basketball. When these two teams played the first time around, Boston didn't even hit 100 points. The final score is 105-92 in favor of the Thunder, obviously in OKC. I think they shut down this Celtics team. I love the defense out of the Thunder. I know, again, you lose your second leading scorer, and you lose, obviously, a very good defender as well in Jalen Williams. He's your second All-Star. That's going to suck. Lou Dort probably gets moved to the 3, and then Caruso probably has to start, or Isaiah Joe, or Cason Wallace. Regardless, this likely leaves Lou Dort to guard a guy like Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Oh, he was going to guard one of those two regardless, but we expect Shea to probably be on Jalen, I think. Yeah, it's likely what's going to happen. They'll put Cason or Caruso. Oh, if Caruso's playing, he'll guard one of the stars. But if Cason Wallace is starting, then we expect Cason Wallace to probably be on Derek White or Drew Holiday. I think the Thunder are going to have to kind of play smaller in this game, so don't be surprised if Hartenstein's not starting. Because, yeah, if it's just Al Horford, you don't need both Chet and Isaiah playing at the same time. Regardless, I don't care what the Thunder do, they're going to win this game. SGA is the MVP. I mean, argue to a wall if you think Jokic is the MVP. I get it. He triple-doubles, whatever. Shea's got averaging 33 points on a 53-12 team. They beat the Nuggets in crunch time 2 games ago. I know, again, the Nuggets got them in the other game. But, I mean, when the voodoo magic was going on, man, I'm watching Russ hit threes in crunch time. I'm watching Christian Braun hit him. Jamal Murray hit threes. I'm watching everybody hit threes. It's just like, all right, this voodoo crap out of the Nuggets. I'll watch Jokic do a handoff and he'll still get the assist. Don't care. Shea's the MVP. Thunder go to Boston and win, especially we don't know what's happening with Porzingis. I think the Thunder just match up really well with Boston. And obviously, if we do get this in the NBA Finals, I think OKC obviously beats them them there too. So give me them then too. Give me the Thunder to beat the Boston Celtics on the road as dogs, plus 155. The Thunder get it done without J-Dub. Give me the Thunder in Boston. Next up, we go to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, as we've got the Toronto Raptors taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers suck at basketball. That's been my message for the last few months with the 76ers. I get it, their injuries have been absolutely killing them. It's been, since the beginning of the season with Embiid and Jared McCain. Obviously, Embiid again injured. Let's go over the injury report for today because it's ever-changing for the Sixers. Obviously, we know McCain, Gordon, and Embiid out for pretty much the rest of the year. I don't know if Eric Gordon's coming back. I doubt it. Paul George not playing tonight. Tyrese Maxey out. Andre Drummond questionable with an illness. Kelly Oubre ankle injury questionable. Kyle Lowry out hip injury. Okay. So again, it's a Quentin Grimes-led day, obviously. That's not a pathway to success. Don't care. The Raptors could be the 11 seed after this, but they're not catching Giddey and the Bulls right now. It's just not happening. The Raptors are very hurt too. Who knows who's going to play? My goodness, this injury report's crazy. So again, Dick and Ingram out as expected. Scotty Barnes, questionable finger injury. Jacoby Walters still out hip injury. Mobo out nose injury. Jamison Battle questionable nose injury. What's happening? Abaji out, doubtful ankle injury. RJ Barrett personal out. Emmanuel Quickly rest out. What is going on, man? I mean, I get it. They know they're not going to the playoffs. It's just tank time. And we got to capture the flag game on Friday. They're in Utah, the Raptors. Oh, wow. Don't bet this game. Don't do it. I'll take the Raptors, I guess. Love Jamal Shed. Shout out AJ Lawson, the rookie out of South Carolina. Had a huge game against the Wizards. 33 minutes, 32 points again for the rookie. I wouldn't bet this game. Stay away. These are two teams who are actively trying to lose at this point. Obviously, the Bulls have gotten that 10 seed, so this game doesn't really matter. I'll take the Raptors because they're at home, and the Sixers just... Their bench unit is arguably way worse than the Raptors. The Raptors have guys who have fulfilled that starting role and done all right, and who knows, again, we might see Scotty Barnes tonight. We might see some of their starters. I doubt we see anything out of Philly tonight. Give me Toronto at home. Next up, we go to South Beach. The Miami Heat host the Los Angeles Clippers. Don't love the pick, but I will take Miami at home. I get it, the Heat are coming off 4 straight losses. My mindset with this is they have to win eventually. This feels like a good spot for them to finally win one. I get it, the Clippers were playing great ball prior to their loss yesterday, and of course, classic Clippers fashion, they screw us over, of course, when we finally pick them, losing to the New Orleans Pelicans on the road. Way to go, guys. Kawhi did play yesterday, so that means likely no Kawhi tonight against the Heat. I don't know if they've already marked Kawhi as out, but I don't expect Leonard to play both games of the back-to-back. Ben Simmons, not even on the road trip, or yeah, he's not even traveling with the team, and Norman Powell is obviously out as well. So the Clippers are shorthanded tonight. Obviously, again, we can expect a lot of Harden and Zubac and Chris Dunn as well, who's been picking up a lot of fouls, but does play all the time as well for the Clippers too. But they're taking on a Miami team that I'm not going to say they're in desperate need of a win because we know they're going to be in the play-in regardless. But again, there is somewhat of a fight for that 8 seed at this point between them and the Magic, right? You don't want to get stuck in that spot where you have a winner-go-home game, and if you lose, your season's over. Obviously, you rather have the 2 chances in the 7-8 than take your chances, obviously, in the 9-10. Because regardless of what happens in the 7-8, if you lose, you get that second game at home. If you're in the 9-10, you got to go on the road regardless. Yeah, Miami's not playing good ball at all, though. They're fairly healthy again, though, right? I mean, Hero's back officially. Wiggins is fully back. Khalil Ware's not dealing with any more injuries anymore. Bam Adebayo's obviously been great. He's been the only thing keeping this team somewhat together, obviously. And I think with the Heat finally back at full strength, I think they find a way to win one. I mean, Adebayo 23-14-8 on Monday against Charlotte, and the Heat still lost. It's been bad post-Jimmy Butler era. Obviously, again, this isn't because of Jimmy Butler. They were bad even with Jimmy Butler this season. It's just the Heat in their never-ending, always in playoff contention, but never really good enough to compete for a title or, not really a championship contender unless they shock you, and never bad enough to be in the lottery. I mean, this is kind of how they are, right? It's Pat Riley basketball, which I respect, but man, they are just in, no man's land every single year. Play-in time, 8 seed, 6 seed, I don't know. I'm going to take them to beat the Clippers. The Clippers are really undermanned. Second night of a back-to-back. I do expect the Heat to get this one at home. They're 2.5-point favorites. Not my favorite bet of the day, but yes, obviously we pick every single game. I do side with the Miami Heat here at home against the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's go on to our next game. We go to Houston, Texas. The Phoenix Suns go to Houston to take on the Houston Rockets. We've got guys who are coming from the Ivy League. I think he was from the Ivy League. Cam Spencer, right? Trash talking Kevin Durant. I mean, oh God, what happened to the game I loved, man? It pains me to watch Kevin Durant on this team. It really does. Now, I'll be honest. As a Lakers fan growing up and as a LeBron James fan, I hated Kevin Durant as a kid. I did, right? Like, not as a kid, but I was actually in high school when KD was on the Warriors. I don't know why I said it. Well, okay, anyways. But regardless, right? I didn't like Durant much earlier in my life, obviously. When he was with OKC, I liked Durant. But, Thunderstruck was great. But, as because he became a Warrior, I didn't really like KD anymore. But then went to the Nets. All right, I started to really appreciate Kevin Durant for what it's worth, for what he's worth, obviously. I really respected KD a lot more post-Warriors. I don't want to watch Kevin Durant on the Suns anymore. Just get him out of this place, man. Just get him out. They almost beat the Grizzlies, but they just lost at the end. This team gets so close, yet they're so far from competing, man. Houston's won 3 in a row. New Orleans, Magic, very low scoring game, but the Rockets won that one. Like you expect a Magic Rockets game to be with 2 of the better defenses in the NBA. Fred VanVleet's back tonight, which is key because again, Ben Thompson, one of their other starters, is out for the next couple weeks. So that's great for the Rockets. I think they beat Phoenix. This is a matchup where I do think it's an extremely winnable one for Phoenix in the sense of, all right, Phoenix is going to score. Let's see how they deal with the defensive pressure of the Rockets. And the Rockets are somewhat of a just mid-offensive team, obviously. Depends on the night, though. Jalen Green can obviously turn up, and Alfred Şengün will have his nights as well. And we'll see how Nick Richards deals with Şengün tonight. The Suns still not in the play-in spot. They're still 2.5 games out because Dallas won yesterday. Or 2 days ago, like we predicted. Yeah, Phoenix got to start winning, man. I think they'll eventually get in, obviously, but right now it's still 2.5 games out. I don't think they're getting a game tonight. We'll get to Dallas's game in San Antonio in a little bit. But man, it just sucks. I hate that these Ivy League guys, this G League dude is mouthing at Kevin Durant. I mean, respect, honestly, but it's just like, man, oh God. You think you can talk to KD like that? It's Kevin Durant. Come on, man. Give me the Rockets. The Suns, I can't trust them to win big games. I just can't. I think they will get in the play-in, but let's just be honest. Are they going to lose the Clippers? I think it's going to be the Clippers. In the 9-10? Probably. No, actually, no. It'll be the Kings, probably. They're losing in the first round of the play-in regardless. It sucks, man. It sucks. Honestly, as a Lakers fan, I don't care. All right, haha, at the Suns. But at this point, just as a fan of the game, watching KD on this team is just depressing. But I am excited for the Suns to go back and do, sucking mode for the rest of the, for the next 15 years and go back to what their roots are, right? I'm excited for that. Anyways, give me the Rockets to win and cover this game. Wouldn't bet it, though. There's better games. It's not this one. 13.5 on the Grizz, sure. guess. I guess it's down to 12.5 now that I'm checking the line, so the Jazz have gotten a point back. My thing with the Jazz is they're just always trying to lose. Right now, guys, there's only 5 guys in the injury report, not including Taylor Hendricks, who obviously blew his knee out early in the season or broke his leg. So right now, there's only 5 guys in the injury report for the Jazz. That will change by tomorrow, obviously, in, 5 hours. I'm recording this again around midnight. Oscar is out with an illness. Keontae George, doubtful foot injury. Markkanen, questionable back injury. That means he's not playing. Jordan Clarkson, questionable foot injury. He's not playing. Jaden Springer, back questionable. They might throw him in there. Expect a Walker Kessler, random rest. John Collins to come down with the phantom injury. Those are the usual suspects we always see. I don't bet a Jazz game. Just don't. There's so many things that can happen. Their guys might decide to play one day and they might decide not to the other. The Jazz might have their one game where they're like, all right, guys, we need to make sure the league doesn't know that we're fully tanking. So let's play everybody, right? I don't know. No Santi Aldama tonight. Zach Edey, questionable with an ankle injury. Brand Clark, questionable knee injury. We'll see who plays. John Morant, obviously, still in the lineup. Desmond Bane, Jalen Wells, one of the better rookies of this draft class, obviously, so far this year. I expect the Grizzlies to put belt to ass the Jazz. I mean, if you don't think so, you're just lying to yourself. Just be honest. The Grizzlies are much better than Utah. What does Utah offer them? I don't know. Walker Kessler. I love Walker Kessler. Their guards can ball. I'm not going to lie, right? Like, I like Collier. I like Keontae George if he plays tonight. I like Sexton. I like Clarkson. He's not playing tonight either. But, man, there's just not much else going on for the Utah Jazz. I expect the Memphis Grizzlies to win this game. They are at home. Give me Memphis to win and cover the 14.5 points again at home at the FedEx Forum. We go on now to our next game, and we go to San Antonio, Texas. Here's the aforementioned Battle of Texas between the Spurs and the Mavericks. The Spurs are 5.5 point favorites. Wow. I get it. The Mavs did win the last game, though. With 8 players, the Dallas Mavericks go to San Antonio and beat the Spurs. We did call it. I told you to take the Mavs at plus money, and what happened? They ended up winning that basketball game. I don't think they do it back-to-back nights, though. Or they had a night in between, but they're not going to do it again. Dallas is still undermanned. Again, Kyrie, Lively, Gadford, 80. Prosper still out. On top of that, Exum questionable tonight. Brandon Williams questionable. Jaden Hardy out. Kai Jones out. PJ Washington questionable. Their entire team is injured. Can't trust that to win. It's not a winning formula, man. It's just not. The San Antonio Spurs, I'd be very shocked if they don't win this game. San Antonio, I know they've lost 3 in a row. I know the Spurs suck. But they got to get one. That's my mindset here. They got to get one. I don't think they allowed Dallas to beat them in back-to-back games, especially with whatever the hell the Mavs are going to be throwing out tonight. I mean, Dinwiddie, Max Christie, Klay Thompson, Caleb Martin, Dwight Powell. The Spurs are bad, though. I'd stay away. The Spurs are bad. But I do think, again, I think this is kind of the matchup where the Mavs do get blown out this time around. I think Spurs got injuries of their own. Vassell questionable. Sochan questionable. Wemby obviously out for the year. We know that. De'Aaron's still not shut down. I respect it. But, wouldn't mind seeing De'Aaron just get that surgery that he obviously needs and let Stephon Castle play a lot more and maybe try to win the Rookie of the Year. I don't know. Give me San Antonio. Again, I hate the matchup. Will I be watching? No. I could write you 100 better things I have to do with my day than watch the San Antonio Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks on my television set. Okay? Give me the Spurs to beat the Dallas Mavericks, though. Would not bet it. Don't mind this one, though. Let's go to Denver. Give me the Timberwolves. Let's go. Give me the Timberwolves to beat the Nuggets. Second half of the ESPN doubleheader. Obviously, first half, Boston, OKC. Now we get Denver and Minnesota. Yes, let's go Timberwolves. 5 straight wins for Minnesota. Phoenix, Philly, Hornets, Heat, Spurs. Now here they go against Denver. Rudy Gobert came back in their last game. Again, Minnesota scored through a season high in that game. This team is playing phenomenal basketball. They're scoring, and they're scoring in bunches, and this is just a spot where I think they beat Denver. No Aaron Gordon tonight. Murray and Jokic both probable. That's okay, but don't forget what happened last year in the Western Conference semifinals. Ant had quite a series against Denver. Sure, it was close. Obviously, he went 7, but give me the Timberwolves here. Give me Minnesota to go to Denver. No Aaron Gordon tonight is huge, and on top of that, Minnesota is playing right now their best ball of the entire season. Minnesota is getting hot right now. They are currently the 7th seed in the Western Conference. I could easily see them jumping a team like the Rockets. maybe the Warriors. Obviously, we know the Warriors are playing really hot as well. We'll see. But yeah, I like Minnesota here. I like them to just not blow out the Nuggets, but I do think they're going to win this game. I think they're just going to outscore Denver. We know, again, Denver's problems defensively, and if they're not able to match that with their shooting like they did in the fourth quarter against OKC the other night, then they're screwed, right? Sure, it can be done with Denver because their offense and their shooting is so great. I completely understand that. I just don't think they're going to be able to dig their way out of this one. With Ant, with, the assorted shooting roles in this team. We're talking about, McDaniels at points, Julius Randle, DiVincenzo off the bench, Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid off the bench, obviously. I think the Timberwolves outpace them tonight. I really think they do. Gobert's going to play. He's not horrible against the Nuggets. Not that bad. I think the Timberwolves win this game, though. It's a regular season spot, yes, and I think the Timberwolves just outpace them the entire night. Minnesota's playing hot. I know Denver's coming off the win over OKC, but give me the Timberwolves to beat the Denver Nuggets here in Denver, Colorado. We go on to our final game of the night, and we go to the Moda Center at the Rose Garden, Portland, Oregon. The Trailblazers host the New York Knicks. Give me the Knicks on the road. I thought they were going to struggle a lot more without Jalen Brunson, and sure, it's only been 2 games. By the way, the line is now shifted from 4.5 to 3.5, so take that as you will. And trust me, I do think the Knicks are going to still struggle without Brunson. I think it's coming soon. Golden State on the road on Saturday night. But after that, the schedule's pretty light right now without Brunson. Miami at home, win. San Antonio on the road, win. Charlotte on the road, win. Wizards at home, win. Mavs on the road, or Mavs at home, win. Clippers at home, probably a win. In Milwaukee, probably a loss, but they've got a lot of very winnable games. The Knicks have quite an easy schedule down the stretch. They should be able to manage here in Portland. The Blazers have cooled off mightily. At one point in time, this team was only a couple games out the play-in. They got to 27-33. They're now 28-38. Ajiva's still playing well. Anthony Simons is still playing well, but man, the entire team's just not coming together as a whole right now. It is what it is. I wasn't expecting playoffs or play-in this year for the Blazers to start the year. It's nice they've taken that step, because at the beginning of the season, my God, they were horrible, but I think Scoot's really, obviously proven a lot of the haters wrong. The guard play's just been great all year long, and Ajiva's taken that next step too, and we'll see what this team is next year, obviously, with no DeAndre Ayton likely, Klingon probably in the starting role, Jeremy Grant probably on his way out. He's not playing tonight, by the way. He's doubtful with a knee injury. We'll see. I think the Blazers are going to be a much better team next year. Obviously, though, it's just really tough for the Western Conference because of how stacked, these 15 teams are. But I do think the Knicks beat the Blazers here. Portland's not playing their best basketball. It used to be, the Trailblazers had their stretch in late January and February where, man, it was tough to go to Portland and win, especially, again, when you're on that West Coast trip. It's one of your last stops, obviously, up to the Pacific Northwest. Tough game. I don't really think it's all that tough for New York. We'll see how Donovan Klingon manages, a very elite player in Karl Anthony Towns. I know the Knicks are undermanned, obviously. They signed PJ Tucker to the 10-day deal. Someone just get Unk on the team at this point. But I think the Knicks win this game, and I think they cover the 3.5 points, 4.5, whatever you get. I don't care. It's fine. We're taking it regardless. Give me the Knicks to go to Portland and find a way to win. The Blazers just aren't playing hot right now. Losers over the last 5. The Knicks are going to be fine. They're going to win this game on the road. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA predictions here for Wednesday, March 12th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow again for more daily NBA predictions, and obviously go check out our college basketball best bets. That is linked in the description down below, along with Greedo Plays MMA in the description down below as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.